Good morning. It's AM Tampa Bay with Jack and Ted, your information fountainhead here at 11 minutes after 7 on a Tuesday morning, one of our top 10 favorite days of the week. We got some new things that are happening with law enforcement regarding cameras and tasers and stuff like that. And Dr. Alex Del Carmen, who's a law enforcement specialist and crime prevention analyst, who joins us right now on AM Tampa Bay. And we understand there are some changes taking place. Dr. Del Carmen, tell us about it.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for having me. Essentially what happened was Taser, which is one of the biggest companies in the world that has provided for years the so-called tasers for law enforcement agents to carry, has made an announcement which has shocked the law enforcement community a few days ago. That is, they actually are going to give away for the total of a year free body cams to any law enforcement agent in the United States.
How much is that worth, Doctor?
It is worth millions of dollars. And the advantage of it all, obviously, is that law enforcement agencies that have not been able to afford them are now going to be able to carry them for the remainder of the year and be able to, quote-unquote, dump their data in a main system that will capture all the video transactions. But this doesn't come without a price.
What do you mean?
What do you mean by
What do you mean by it doesn't come without a price? You're saying it's worth millions.
Yeah, it's worth millions, but the catch is that at the end of the year, the law enforcement agency is going to have to start paying for the actual equipment as well as for the software capability. And what that means is that any agency that signs up for it, trains their officers to use them, is able to download the software, they're going to have to make a decision a year from now as to whether or not they want to continue the program and pay for it or simply abandon it at that point. And the reality is which agency is really going to walk away from it.
Yeah, but you get a free year's service, right?
You do, but the issue is that at that point, imagine not being able to afford the thousands of dollars that you're going to have to pay in licensing fees, software updates, and compatibility issues. And at that point, they're going to have to look at each other and say, you know, if we can't afford it, we have to dismantle the entire operation, which is going to take itself thousands of dollars to do.
I'm guessing the reason Taser did this is because they sell their, well, we'll call them weapons or whatever, to police agencies all across the country.
That's exactly right. And you know, anybody that knows anything about how these companies, Tasers and others, actually run, the way they do business is not only in the equipment, but it's also in the upgrade of the equipment, it's also in the software, and most importantly, in the capability of being able to store those videos for the course of a year.
Doctor, let me ask you this. Who makes the decision as to when the cameras are turned on and off?
So typically there's various, different variations of how the cameras run. Most of them are actually on during the time the officer is working, but there are companies that what they do is they simply allow the officer to turn them on and off. Not a good idea, in my opinion. The idea is that the camera is constantly rolling and that is dumping the entire video in the main server.
Well, Dr. Del Carmen, we appreciate your joining us on AM Tampa Bay. Dr. Alex Del Carmen, law enforcement specialist, crime prevention analyst, and that means, of course, our police agencies around here are going to all be fitted with them, at least initially, and we'll see how it plays out after that. But thanks for being on board this morning.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thanks for having me.